Hey guys, Kirk FM here for the newest installment of the top five comic books of my choosing. This week, what is the date? Today is March 17th, but these are for the comics of March 15th. Here comes
Hey
the
guys,
sound.
Kirk.
Got it. I always try to watch if there's ever a chat or anything. I keep that page open. There's never really a chat for these things. This is just a video that goes up during the week, and hopefully you guys find it. So essentially what it is that I've been inconsistent with my top fives, and I do apologize for that. A lot of that is because we're also working on this other thing called Your Mom's Basement, which is another show that I do on my channel on Sundays, but we will get to that later because I'm sure I'm going to pimp everything out. Other thing I'm going to pimp out right now is that my Los Angeles Kings are definitely playing the New York Rangers. I'm keeping tabs on that one while I'm doing my comic book review show because, you know, I love my hockey. In any case, these are the top five picks for March 16th. So let's just get right into it. Number 5 this week. We're going to go with Brian Michael Bendis and International Iron Man. This is the second title of the new Iron Man series. There's a first one that's like about 9 issues in, and then he said he has such a great idea that it actually warrants a second series. The reason why this was so good, not a lot of action in it, a lot of story set up. Also things we have to understand, this is Brian Michael Bendis, also teamed up with Alex Maleev. He's one of my favorite artists in comic books. He just brings something really fantastic and great as far as being able to do a gritty, cool, not too indie style that fits perfectly in the Marvel Universe. He also did that with the Lando series that he did with Charles Soule. It just, for whatever reason, his art's fluid and works in whatever situation that you throw it in, especially if he makes like little tweaks to it. Reasons why I really dug this, and I'm picking like a lot of Bendis. Believe it or not, Bendis has been really hot right now as far as what his writing has been doing, what his writing's been doing the last few weeks. The reason it's made the top 5, and people are like, dude, seriously, Iron Man, a new series, Marvel, blah, 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 blah. When Bendis is writing a title that you can definitely tell he's having a shit ton of fun writing, it shows so much in his writing and the stories that he's coming up with. So that's why number 5 this week is International Iron Man. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with this, especially that he's now expanding the cast a little bit. Also, he's got a knack for digging deep and finding older characters that he makes relevant again. Like, don't even get me started on how cool he made the Hood in all his titles and his runs. Also, what else do I need to do? Yeah, dude, I think I just like International Iron Man. It's a really great story setup. Also, it gives you some history on younger Tony, and it gives you some backstory to get you caught up to speed on like this newest adventure. It's really, really cool. I think you should definitely check it out. Number 4 this week, we are going to go with A Spider-Woman by Dennis Hopeless. Number 5, and also Rodriguez on the art. First of all, Rodriguez's art just makes this title for me right away, especially everything that he and Hopeless have been doing, because the reason why I'm still following this title so closely, they essentially did take one of my favorite Spider characters. I love Spider-Woman. I loved 60s, 70s, sexy, disco, skin-tight Spider-Woman. Instead of making her like this completely messed up life with a weird, strange, like back history and origin story that, again, Bendis had a lot of fun playing around with when he was writing her. They've taken this crazy, insane character who has all this history, and they actually made it very realistic, where like she is this crazy superhero with this crazy superhero life, and she realized that she needed to make changes in her life to kind of bring it down a little bit. I like the new costume. A lot of people give it shit. I think it's fucking awesome. I like that it's like a moto jacket, like completely utilitarian costume. I also really dig the fact that she is like more street level now. I love the relationship that she's got with Ben Ulrich. It does kind of fill that void. This title, actually, this is why I keep watching this title a lot, is that it fills the void of that was left by so many other great comics that Marvel was doing. Again, we're getting to this. She finally had her kid. She had a kid. The backstory as to who the father was is actually revealed in this, which wasn't supposed to be important in the first place. And I like that they tackled that issue, but they definitely address it in this, and that's why I really fucking love it. Also, definitely taking a cue from Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run. They had some fun, kind of like the Pizza Dog issue. Dennis Hopeless tries some cool narrative tricks with using that in this title. I'm really digging it. Also, where was I going? Oh, that's right, because it does fill the void of some of the titles that I'm missing. For instance, She-Hulk or for instance, Jessica Jones in Alias and that sort of thing. Like this title kind of is encompassing all those little kind of niches in the Marvel universe that we are not necessarily seeing anymore. So that's why I keep picking this title up. That's why I'm really following Dennis Hopeless. It's a lot of people I think are going to get turned off by the fact that we're watching Jessica go through the first few months of motherhood, and you would think that's not necessarily captivating reading in a Marvel comic. I say screw that. I think it's fantastic, especially if it's done right. And Dennis, throughout the entire new arc, ever since we came back from Secret Wars and started the series over again, has really kind of played with that narrative, and I really am enjoying it. He's making it work. It's a lot of fun. It's keeping me reading the comic. So I definitely keep recommending Spider-Woman, just based on the fact that it's them basically writing Spider-Woman, a longtime great character, but writing her fresh, and I'm really appreciating it. And then let's go with the number 3 this week. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I keep trying to tell people about this series, and there's a reason why it is so special. We're going to go with Welcome Back by Boom Studios. And why do I keep talking about this series? First of all, it's by Chris Sabella, who, just one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter, too, just one of my favorite people to follow as far as some of the story concepts he comes up with. I keep trying to tell people, this is literally Highlander meets Scott Pilgrim. It's fucking dope. The concept that he's come up with, where these people are engaged in an eternal war, and they always are reincarnated after they hunt down their target, and forever engaged in this weird, strange reincarnation, eternal war thing that we're still not even sure what it's all about. And the strange thing is, I think these characters themselves still don't know why they are driven to find these reincarnated souls and constantly always battle with them. And it's fun to play with these characters, because you're watching one guy who was a master assassin who got mistaken for a serial killer. Then he comes back reincarnated as like a little 8-year-old girl, and then his daughter in the previous life is now meeting him again for the first time, and it's this really funny. It's just fun to tell a story, to watch like a woman calling an 8-year-old daughter his dad, but the truth is that's the relationship they've had for years and years and years. I do have one gripe, and it's that the art hasn't stayed consistent in the series, and it's because they keep switching art teams depending upon which arc is coming up. But that's not taking anything away from the art teams that they choose, because it's still keeping me coming back every month. And I'm loving this concept of these two characters who I guess apparently have killed each other throughout time and history so many times that they've lost count, that at one point, a couple issues ago, it's the final standoff. They have finally found each other again in their new reincarnations. By the way, they're called sequels. I thought that was really cool. And they both got guns to each other's heads. And they're like, this is it. This is do or die. We're all in or nothing. And they basically just start fiercely making out. And you realize that's them making the decision and cutting the cord, that they're not going to continuously play this same sad game of just being, they're actually going to start making their own choices for themselves. And that is just a fucking cool series. And I'm going to try to get everyone on board on this thing. You should be reading it. And yes, I do believe of all the comic releases that came out this week, that is my number 3 pick. I fucking love this series. I'm going to keep following it. Speaking of odd choices, because a lot of my stuff that I read, I keep saying it, man, life is too short to be reading bad comic books. And there are a lot of comic books coming out every week. So that's why I read them all, and I bring them to you. So number 2 this week is a series that I always freak out over every time a new issue comes out, and they only do it in limited arcs. And it looks like the next issue will be the final one. I'm going with motherfucking Luther Strode, number 5 by Justin Jordan and Tradd Moore. This is one of the best creative teams making an amazing comic book. It's like the guys that keep doing Chew. I love everything they do with Chew and that story and that art, and you always are just dying and waiting for these guys to do something else. It's the same thing with Luther Strode. This team, they did some stuff with the last Ghost Rider series, who was the new character with the demon-possessed Hot Rod, and that art was fucking stellar. Why is this so good? Okay, so who is Luther Strode? Basically, it's a takeoff of Flex Mentallo. And it kind of plays with that idea where this kid finds the eternal secret to like maximize himself. He becomes like the prime specimen for just muscle mass and being able to foretell like every other person's fighting techniques. He can see like 15 or 16 different fighting maneuvers and options and like ways to disarm a person before it's coming. And he just it's how he understands and sees how life is interconnected now. And he's one of those guys who like can take like 3 bullets and then he just pops the bullets out, and you start to watch his body just constantly like start to heal up immediately in the middle of battle. But it's a really cool, realistically written character who's just now given all this amazing power, and we're watching his journey through what he's going to do with this power. And he's now hunting down people that are exactly like him, because apparently every time one of these people, these persons enter this cabal and understand what it is to harness this power, they don't ever use it for good. They all turn out to be fucking shitty bad guys. And Luther Strode is the one dude who's like, it's about time that we start taking these dudes down, because this is way too much power to have for one person. I can't get over enough, I cannot stress enough how amazing this art is. It is stellar. It's when I can't wait. And it's bloody. It's so bloody and gory, and the action sequences are still some of the best action sequences being done in any comic book out there right now. Also, I just can't get over the relationship of Luther and his girlfriend. She's so like freaking funky and spunky and just foul-mouthed, and it just keeps like, she's like the type of girl that you want in your corner. She's the type of person you want in a relationship who's just like, fuck yes, we're gonna go get these people and I've got your back. She's just, it also makes for some of the best humor, as far as like having like comedy beats in a pretty violent, serious, in tone comic book, especially when she's taking a giant fucking Gatling gun and just turning somebody into mush. Yeah, you pick up this comic, guys. Pick up this comic now. I love her. I love the series. I'm gonna be very, very, very sad to see it end, because I think the next issue is going to be the last one. Luther is on his way to essentially take down Cain, like as in Cain and Abel Cain, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I don't know if it's actually Cain and Abel Cain, but it's just fucking, ladies and some guys, I'm telling you, this is fucking killer art. And again, just it's one of those things where I'm watching somebody just map out some of the best action sequences I've ever seen in comics. It kicks all the ass. I mean, it's up there with like The Authority as far as like violence in comic books. And if you love The Authority, you'll love this. Definitely pick this up. And before we get to number 1, I got a cough. Because I talk a lot. Okay, number 1 this week. I keep forgetting to do water when I do this. Whoops. In any case, we are going to go with Power Man and Iron Fist number 2 by Marvel Comics. Why is this number 1? I'm pretty sure the first issue was one of the best things I've read since the new Marvel relaunch. I'm also pretty sure that issue 2 took it up to the next level. Who's the creative team on this? It's David Walker and Stanford Green. And I can't get over, I love this new shift that's happening in Marvel. DC isn't quite there yet, like they're doing with Landis's Superman, which was good, didn't make the top 5 this week. But, you know, they're letting Landis basically do an indie version of Clark Kent. Marvel already kind of figured that out. They're letting really outside of the box creative teams do some things with some of their more interesting and premier characters, and telling them like indie stories. And it's fresh and it's new, and it is definitely bringing in new talent and new readers that I think is absolutely vital for Marvel to keep going. I really hope DC gets on board with that. But let's just talk about, like I said, we say it's an indie comic, but it is just beautiful. Other reasons why I'm really enjoying this title. 1, the character designs. I really do love Luke's new style, the very dapper gentleman badass, it definitely shows the evolution of the character throughout the years. And because they've done so much with him in the last 10 years, like the evolution makes sense. And he's now a family man with Jessica, and they have a kid. And it's there's some really great behind the scenes when you see them interacting and dealing with their home life. And the fact that Jessica definitely wears the pants in the family, and I really dig that in the relationship. Also, the amount of history that both these characters come with, Iron Man and, Power Man and Iron Fist. This team did a lot of research, and there's this new arc is bring back old characters and old storylines that were probably a little bit darker and a little bit more serious for the day, and still making it work in this new kind of more lighthearted but definitely ass-kicking version of the characters that they're doing. Still having problems with Danny Rand. I think he's a little too surfer dude Keanu Reeves from Point Break for me. But the character is not hateable. Other things, I like the fact that they're not afraid to do some pretty cool guest drop-ins. Also, there's a really great little role reversal as Spider-Woman Jessica is watching a live feed of Luke Cage getting in a fight, and she does this really kind of like cool sexist thing, because this is something that needs to be addressed because it's horrible that men do this. But she's just like, no, I think we're not going to hop in yet until the fight keeps going. We let these guys keep going at it. Kind of hoping Luke kind of loses a little bit of his shirt first, then I'll hop in. And it was like, idiots who watch like a girl fight and don't break it up. It's a play on that. I thought it was really creative, really inventive. I'm also really enjoying like some of these villains that they've busted out from the old Heroes for Hire days. And I know it's going to sound strange, but the way they're doing this comic, and especially with the villains and characters that they've chosen to highlight in this series, it's got a little bit of like the Tick element involved. Like some of the characters are just kind of weird and quirky, and like kind of remind you of what was it? The character with the Chippendale with the chairhead Chippendale. Is that the character? Or the Mad Midnight Bomber that bombs madly at midnight? Like those characters from the Tick. There's kind of an element of that in this title, and it's fucking working great. Really, really into it. Like I said, it's one of those things where it feels like it feels like it reads like an indie title, but it comes with all the continuity and history that you expect from a Marvel comic, and that's I think a really good marriage of two things happening there that I'm really excited to see keeps going on evolving in Marvel Comics. Yeah, I definitely think Power Man and Iron Fist was the big winner this week. Definitely go out to your shop. It's still out there. I'm sure issue number 1 is still out there too. I'm definitely all about the character designs. I'm definitely about the art. I'm really excited and really hopeful that there is like a long-term plan for this creative team on this title. I know that we're so used to seeing, a 10 issue thing, and then a new creative team comes in. That's probably very possible for this, but I'm going to follow it through. Same thing with like the Vision and Tom King when he's doing with that. There's only 12 issues, and you're going to have to drop off of that. Same thing that happened with Charles Soule and She-Hulk. I think that's kind of where we're going now, as far as like what the big two are doing. They're starting to follow suit on how the indie titles and the indie companies are telling stories in comics, especially like in the volumes. So that was my top 5 for this week. Other things I'd like to talk about. Please come back this Sunday and every Sunday for another episode of Your Mom's Basement. I host that with my friends Ian and Savannah. And basically, that is an interactive comic book club. And we go live at 7 o'clock-ish, because I've been really bad at that. And we keep the chat open, and we literally do for about an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, like the last episode, I'm sorry. And we talk about comics. We actually talk about the themes and the characters and how we felt and related, and what some of the things the author was trying to talk about, and watching what some of the characters do in these comics. And it's like literally the book club for comic books, but you were too afraid to like ask your friends or local comic shop if there was anything like that exists. Welcome to the internet, guys. We do that for you. So that's this Sunday at 7. This week we're going to talk about, we're in the middle of the series right now. We're going to do volume 2 of Lock and Key. So go to your stores, get the Comixology, get caught up, and join us back here. And then Also, I'm pretty sure the emails and the texts have all been sent out. We're also going to do a Miss Marvel Volume 1 of the pre-Secret Wars run with G. Willow Wilson, and I particularly love that series. I was really excited to find out that Miss Savannah has not read it yet. So Ian and I got really excited about that. So that will be this Sunday. Please come back, check out this video. As always, like and subscribe. Please share. Also, by the way, the thing about Your Mom's Basement that I love is that it's not necessarily you only have to watch it live. Basically, we also keep the comments going as the video goes up and stays on the channel. And it's always going to be a good reference point because those conversations are always going to be going. So just because you didn't see it live doesn't mean you can come back and watch it later and literally like read the comic books with us and the episode. And it's always going to be a reference point. It's always going to be a really cool like resource to always come back to. So I'm really excited that that's something that's being done. And man, if you're interested, please come on, reach out. Let me know what we should be reading and what you're reading and all that good stuff. As always, you make it this far in the video, that's very appreciated. It means that we are sharing our love of comic books. I am definitely trying to grow the community. That's the whole point of doing all of this stuff. Also, I will start sporadically doing little quick highlight videos for some really great indie titles out there that are not being read that need to be highlighted, and I don't think anyone's doing that. So hopefully, if you're looking for good stuff to read, I will bring it to you. Currently, right now, I'm checking out Limbo. That's a really fantastic sci-fi noir mystery series. Also, another thing, Kennel Block Blues issue 2 just came out last week. I cannot recommend that highly enough. It's only 4 issues. I will do a special video on that. That is stuff I need you guys to hop on now. Other than that, I'm going to go head out, grab another pint, because it is St. Patrick's Day. I am definitely going to go root my fucking Kings on. New York, you're going down quicker than a Catholic school altar boy. Yep, I went offensive. It's hockey. It's shit talking. Also, pro tip for those going out this St. Patrick's Day. From one drinker bartender to a bunch of people that are going to go, please be safe, drink a lot, stick to the Jameson, don't mix it up too much. Tequila has no place in your life tonight. Also, no green beer. Do you know why no green beer? Well, one, it's because guys like me who are behind the bar will see your dyed mouth and realize that you've been to 4 other places already. You might not get served. 2, it's how the cops know you've been drinking too. See you Sunday. Find it for the top 5 next week. See you guys.